Wasn't that fantastic? Let's give a big round of applause to this year's award recipients. This year, we are also pleased to present an Editorial Achievement Award to John E. Kirk. He is the Chief Information and Technology Officer with Serva Worldwide Relocation and Moving, and the award is for his article, Striking a Balance Between Technology and Data Security, which appeared in our December 2018 issue of Mobility Magazine. John is unable to join us today, but please join me in a round of applause for John's award-winning efforts. And finally, it gives me really great pleasure today to recognize the most recent inductee into the Worldwide ERC Hall of Leaders. Those earning this honor have distinguished themselves at the highest level through their many years of service to the organization, authoring mobility articles, leading education sessions, and service on committees, special task forces, and advisory councils. This year's inductee, Hank Roth, among his other accomplishments, indeed, among his other accomplishments, has served on Worldwide ERC's Public Policy Committee since 2002. He has acted as the chairman of the tax forum for the past 4 years and has seen participation grow enormously in that time. For 16 years, he has taught CRP candidates and presented webinars and seminars at the local, national, and international level. And who can forget Hank's regular role as moderator of the tax and legal sessions at our May and October meetings, where he has succeeded in bringing levity and laughter to matters of compliance. Yes, of compliance. Please join me in welcoming to the stage from WWERC, Hank Roth. I'm going to hug you.
A couple of weeks ago, I learned that I was expected to take a few minutes up here to talk about what got me here, what and who influenced my choices, an experience or two during my career that stood out for me, and a few pearls of wisdom as I reached over 30 years in this industry. Knowing me, and many of you do, my penchant for telling endless stories, keeping this to minutes, not hours, was going to be a challenge, but let's see how we do. Looking back, I pretty much always wanted to be a teacher. My dad was a really tough little dude from New York. He ran a trucking company in Cleveland, Ohio, and dealt with the Teamsters Union on a daily basis. His dream for me, that I had to be tough, and he treated me accordingly. I felt that he didn't really love me because it seemed that I could never do anything good enough. And who wants to love someone who isn't good enough? As a college student in Michigan State, I was given a great opportunity to stay on after graduation and do English literary research and teach. That would be my dream job. My dad, however, had other plans for me and told me, no way, you're going to be a lawyer. So wanting to please him, not me, I'd be a lawyer. What I hated was the confrontational and adversarial aspects of practicing law and the necessity of making others wrong in order to succeed. My dad really envisioned me being like the bald guy on TV who proclaims, "I will make them pay." At least I got the bald right. Whereas I saw myself more like Florence Nightingale, those who are old enough to know who she was, someone who was there for others, coming from a place of compassion and service. One day as I was preparing to leave for court to argue a case, feeling my usual overwhelming anxiety, my darling wife, Lizzie, who is sitting right over there, knowing how much I wanted to be a teacher, turned to me and said, "What will you teach them today?" I was blown away. How simple and yet so profound. All I needed to do was to change my perception of what I was doing. I started to see everything that I did as an opportunity to teach and serve. In 1995, after being outside counsel for a relocation company for almost 10 years, I was offered the senior counsel position and jumped at the chance. I had already found that the relocation industry was dedicated to helping people through one of the most difficult times in their lives, uprooting their families and moving to another location somewhere in the world. We in this industry should all be grateful to have a place to work where mutual respect for each other and caring for our transferees and assignees is such an important aspect of our everyday lives. One of my earliest recollections of Worldwide ERC was not my favorite one. It was the day that a fellow named David Barlow, known to many of you out there, who had been the relocation guy for Chevron and was working with me at the company that was called CRS back then. And he brought me to my first Worldwide ERC Public Policy Committee meeting. David wanted me to replace him on the committee. I looked around the room. I saw about 25 people sitting around a table with nameplates in front of them, and I noticed that about half of those names were familiar because my boss at that time had either sued them or threatened to do so. My first feeling as a member-to-be of that committee was that I was about to be run out of town on a rail. Fortunately, though, and this is absolutely the truth, over time, these folks have become some of my very, very best friends in the industry. I could take an hour or so and name them all, but I will move on. I would, however, like to take a moment here to thank each and every one of them and each and every one of you for your compassionate companionship and guidance to me. Thanks to my family and friends, both in and outside the relo industry, for their support over the years. And last, and certainly most importantly, thanks to my wonderful partner, Lizzie. She's over there going, "Hank, don't do that." My wife of 32 years. Come on, stand up. My wife of over 32 years, who has never wavered from her support for me with her wisdom and ever-present love. After over 30 years in the industry, I can honestly say, without hesitation, that I now spend almost all of my time teaching in one way or another, and at least that's how I see it. In closing, I dedicate this award to my dad. This one's for you, Pops. I finally feel you smiling. Thank you. I guess we can't leave it till next time.
All right.
Thank you.